we didn't X and O. We didn't have time in building our infrastructure and all that. We weren't as good X and O wise as we are now. And we've taken the input from these guys of how they want to defend it, and we've studied it, and we have a good plan. And again, we have, I think, a very good plan against it, and then you have to execute the plan. A lot of it is making sure that the pick and roll is played by 5 guys and not 2. No, we love our team. I mean, you know, I think the one thing about our group is we love each other, we respect each other. I mean, you know, we're not thinking about the past. We're thinking about this right now. And we've invested, like Chris said, we've invested a lot. Players, coaches, Jerry, all the support staff. You know, we want to represent our country real well, but we also want to do it for us. You know, this is a goal for this team is to play great basketball in China.
Mike, you talked about getting familiar with one another. Is part of that also, I noticed a lot of times when guys were passing up open shots, I mean, aware that there are 4 other great players out there, do they have to become, you know, a little bit more comfortable taking shots when they become available? Yeah,
we shouldn't take bad shots. You know, our guards are going to find you, and today really was the best of the 5 days of guys running to corners, being in spots. So when these guys do get into some situation where there's 2 guys on them, they actually know where their bailout passes are. I mean, and you know, Michael Redd benefited from that pretty much today.
Do we have any questions for the athletes before we continue with Coach K?
Chris, I just want to ask you guys about you guys playing together. I know Coach K put you guys in at the same time. And also just your thoughts on how Dwayne Wade looked. He hasn't played competitive ball in a couple of months, but just about how he played.
6 months.
Oh, however many. And just talk about you guys playing together and D-Wade as well.
D-Wade is a warrior. If anybody knows him, you know, he's been rehabbing and he's been working out probably more than anybody, you know, and just trying to get back in shape, trying to see what he has. And that's D-Wade. You know, we see it every day in practice now, and you saw it tonight that he's back. And when he's aggressive like that, we're a dangerous team. And as far as playing with D-Will, I mean, it's fun. It's fun because we're both, you know, guards that are unselfish, and we know how to play off one another. And both defensively and offensively, we like to put pressure. So we pretty much know each other pretty well.
To add to that, yeah, I think, you know, our main goal when we go in together is just to bring a lot of energy to the team. You know, I know that's what Coach wants for us, and just to give a different look out there. And we're definitely going to get up and pressure and try to cause create a lot of havoc out front, take some pressure off our big guys. And offensively, either one of us can handle. We can pitch ahead and hit each other, and it just makes our offense run a little bit smoother when we're in together.
How challenging has it been just adjusting to the nuances of the international game?
You know, it's not too tough. You know, most of us have played a couple years of international ball now, so we've got the gist of it. It's always going to be a little adjustment, you know, the different rules and the physicality, but, you know, as Coach K said, it goes with playing in these type of situations. And as we go along through Macau and Shanghai, you know, we'll get more comfortable with that.
Got one more question for Chris and Darren, and then we'll let you guys go.
Darren, I'd like to ask the same question I asked Mike. Is it hard to take an open shot knowing, I mean, especially with a point guard mentality, that you might have Kobe or D-Wade or whatever? Is it hard to make sure that you take that open shot all the time?
It sometimes is. You know, as a point guard, and me, you know, I'm playing a little bit of the two. It's difficult at times to have that mentality because, you know, you come off pick and roll and your tendency is just to give it up right away because you see D-Wade, you see Kobe out there. But, you know, Coach K has told me numerous times, as well as Coach McMillan, that, you know, sometimes you got to, you know, he wants me to be the player I am on my team, but bring that same mentality to this team. And you know, I just have to keep that in my head and when I'm out there playing to attack and be me.
Thank you very much, Darren and Chris.
Yep.
Coach K, if you wouldn't mind staying for a few more minutes.
See you on the bus.
Coach, in the back here, are there any symptoms that you saw tonight that you wonder if you can correct in the next 3 weeks, given the difficulty of putting a team together like this?
Symptoms?
Anything you saw tonight that you wonder if you can get everybody on the same page?
No, we're on the same page. It's just how well you're on that same page, you know, and that only comes with playing together. You know, that's why these Macau and Shanghai are so important, and really the pool play. You know, we have a tough pool, playing the tough games we have there. I think by the time we get to the medal round, we should be, I think, unless we get hurt, very good. And just, you know, like LeBron didn't play today. Okay, so with LeBron there, obviously LeBron's going to play a lot of minutes. So what does that do to a rotation? We saw a rotation based on LeBron not being there. We have to figure out what's a good rotation or rotations when LeBron is there, because he is going to be there.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, you know, you're very good at doing your homework, so I'm just wondering if you've looked into some of the other tougher opponents. Obviously, there's going to be some tougher ones. Spain, this Rick Rubio kid that's coming over. We've got a fast team. He looks pretty flashy. If you have any thoughts on that, and also playing against Gasol and Kobe and everything else.
Yeah, we haven't specifically, you know, done things where we're looking at specific individuals. Rather, in our practice sessions, we've tried to defensively work on situations. You know, what about revolving doubles? What about the slice? What about the side pick and roll, the top pick and roll? You know, what about horns, double, you know, two guys at the. So we've been trying to defend situations, not an individual. And I think as we get into, you know, playing our exhibition games, we may try to take one player out. Like our goal today was not to try to take any one player out, but just play team defense and see where we're at. And we didn't have, like, although we did a scouting report, we didn't have a specific person we wanted to take. That'll probably change in our 4 exhibition games. So we say, well, okay, this guy cannot get touches or he can't get, and then we'll evaluate it at that time. So it's kind of like a process that we're going to go through.
Coach, what's Jason Kidd's role on his team? Do you see some of the younger players are soaking up his experience?
Well, his main role is to be our leader, and on and off the court. He has a maturity level that is the highest on the team, maybe in the league, you know. And he's great about sharing his knowledge and giving instruction during the game, when he's on the court and when he's off the court. You know, he really tries to help Chris Paul and Darren. You know, if he sees something for one of the players, or it's like a little bit of a member of the coaching staff, because if he sees something or feels it, he'll say, well, why don't we try that? And and we'll look at it, or a lot of times we'll do it. He has just a great understanding of the game.
Just how did you decide on Dwayne being the guy who would start? And was there anything you saw tonight, a play, anything that showed you, yeah, he's back?
Well, one of the main reasons I wanted Dwayne on the team, even though people weren't sure if he was going to be healthy enough, was the fact that if something happened with Kobe and LeBron, if Dwayne was able to get to his status of who he is as a player, you sub an a real elite player, an athlete, for one of those two guys, and that will be with LeBron coming back. LeBron will be in the starting lineup, and Dwayne would probably be the first one off the bench, and he may be the first one off the bench, not just for a perimeter player, but for Carmelo, and then LeBron would go to the 4. We got to look at that in our exhibition games, and then how do you put in Chris Paul, Darren, and Michael Redd and make that happen. Our strength of our team is our perimeter, and then that strength goes to the 4 position. Because of the way we play, you end up having like 4 guys on the perimeter.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and close this down, and I believe the athletes are going through the mixed zone as we speak.